Hey everyone, Corey here, coming in to do the energy update. This is January the 15th, 2025. We are coming on the heels of the full moon in Cancer, and we are moving our way through. We are now into that middle balance of January and past the point of all of the new moon, all of the new moon, all of the new year beginnings that take place, and all of those big moments that happen when collectively the new year energy happens, because the new year energy doesn't happen out there. It doesn't happen. What does happen is the planets move in, depending on what's happening each and every year. So of course this year on the 31st there was the new moon energy, so there was changes that were happening, but it did bring us into a time of really it did bring in an energy that meant that things were not going to go exactly as planned, that we would see the forces of the energy take its toll. And I kept saying over and over this, expect the unexpected, but also that those plans were probably not going to work out, and that we would see things happening that that would kind of foil a lot of plans, like things that could foil plans or change things up. And so some of the predictions that we've had over the past few months, over the past year, that were coming up about 2025, is that they have been playing out pretty quickly. And I kept seeing something happening in that California coastal area, and kept seeing these things happening. And I keep getting messages from people, because I don't ever know what happens in my energy updates, but I keep getting messages from people about, hey, you predicted this, or hey, you seen this. And so that was some of the shifts. And my God, our world needs a lot of compassion. It needs a lot of love, and it truly does. And that on a world scale, on a collective energy, in the collective energy in our personal lives around the world, is that there is a lot of upheaval, a lot of destruction, a lot of inhumane actions, behaviors, and how we have kind of become desensitized to this human things that are happening out there. And so bringing love in, and understanding, and support that we need to, that need to be supportive, and to recognize that everyone as a human, right, is that we are all to show dignity, and to recognize that everyone is human, that we have this fight or this cause for the everyday human. And I mean, like, everyday people, that we have to really get back to, find that center in there again somehow. And not that we don't feel it as a general, if you're listening going, well, I feel it. It's not the it's not about you. It's not a personal thing. It's about the we as a collective energy. And so the collective energy of what we feel when we are getting this energy, and when this energy is communicating back to us, and the light codes are coming, and the light language is coming in around this. And so I'm going to bring in the channeled message. We do have a shift that is happening right now, or that has happened. I'm not even sure the date, because, I'm not a professional astrologer, but I do feel it and I do see it. And so we had that movement from the nodes, of the North Node being in Aries and it being there for over a year. And then the shift going into, from North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, into North Node in Pisces, and South Node in Virgo. Now, what does that mean? And so there is, when we see this coming in, so I had to write this down because I never exactly remember how this goes. But so the North Node is, so the nodes represent karmatic lessons. The North Node shows direction and growth, and the South Node it shows The North Node shows direction and purpose, while the South Node indicates areas of comfort and past patterns to release. Now, do I know that? Yeah. When I go to channel it, no, because it doesn't resonate to spirit. Spirit itself, like the divine God that communicates through me and speaks to me, doesn't have a person, doesn't have a language or a relationship per se with the language that we bring forth to here to earth, and how we translate astrology, how we translate that connection. So sometimes I have to find the language that connects to here. So North Node brings growth and purpose. South Node is creates our comfort and our past patterns. And so the other thing about South Node is kind of that sense of, sometimes I would say it's the North Node is kind of is developed, and South Node not so developed, is that we have to create that, we have to, you know, really connect into recognizing the South Node within ourselves, the South Node energy. And so moving through this, where we're coming from is that the energy of the North Node being in Aries and South Node being in Libra is, I call it like the energy of it is like they are sisters to each other. It's like sisters but not twin, right? They're sisters but not twin. And so with this shift that's happening, it is like we're being pushed over and moved closer to. So we're being moved and shifted closer to now our more intuitive expression of ourselves, to live not so regimented. And this was why there are a lot of conversation in the channel messages about those regimented plans and goals, because the part of us that's kind of being activated or that's ready for growth is the intuition, to be able to intuitively learning to trust our body, trust ourselves on what it is that we need. The Aries energy of what we were was to really step into self-leadership, self-growth, self-development. It was in charge. It was a big journey of really growth in that for Aries. And it was really about, the Libra was a lot of nostalgia, and there was a lot of reminiscing. So you kind of see the past kind of coming back. And where you often see the past comes back is in the cycles and the repeat patterns of clothes style, of you know, of styles of the past. So newer generations think, oh, this is new, and it's new, but it's not new. If you've been on the earth for a long time, you've probably seen every style that could possibly be back to, you know, the 40s, 50s, 60s. Like if you have, whenever you were born, if you're lucky enough to still be here from the 30s, right? Like the times that you would have bared witness to the style before. And so just like fashion, just like clothing, everything gets repurposed. It comes back again. So does the realignment of planets. So does the things that are happening. So we may not see it in hundreds of years in planetary shifts or alignments or oppositions, but we will see it again. And maybe not us as a collective, as a person, but we as a collective consciousness will revisit, right? We will find that coming back again. And so this move and the Virgo is, you know, so here we have the sense of trusting intuition, and over here we need proof. I need to know what I'm doing. So there is a sense of that safety. There is a sense of having to create safety. There's also, so this is where there's going to be a battle this year in this energy. And we're really feeling this starting to come online now, about being able to create some sorts of guarantees, which means there can be motives to create cultural ways that make people feel like they are safe. And in that, it's going to be the battle between we can trust and live and do things on our own, or the sense of having some sort of control over us. So there is the battle of the sense of freedom and control. And that's going to be amped up, coming up in this energy, the way that I'm being given it. This doesn't apply to what anyone else, but this is the message they're giving me. And so this is where the sense of our, living from spirit, living with spirit, living more on our spiritual self. But it is really a time of creativity. It is a time of where we can really, step into what is my higher purpose, living the higher purpose. So there is a lot of pushback on the control that is coming up. And so really letting go of the rigidness of the kind of overanalyzing, overthinking, overprocessing, and the beginning of a freedom from that within ourselves. And because what is in the macro becomes what is in the micro, is what is within us. So because it's on a world scale, and the collective consciousness is that you will also be feeling this within yourself. Like there is this sense of, I just want to just live life and just feel like I'm alive. So I want to say it feels very much like that sense of when we're kids and we didn't know anything else existed except for our neighborhood, right? But there is a push that's going to be bringing in that sense of bringing back the nostalgia of, oh, you'll love your community, you won't want to go any farther. And it's a push of herding and cattling people together. I'm seeing this, and it's like herding and cattling people together by selling you the belief that you're creating a community. But that is not a truth. That is taking pieces of parts of truth. And so there is that kind of in and out energy that just says, oh, well, maybe that's okay. Maybe, but then this on a soul level or on a divine level, a divine expression is that the heightened sense of intuition that just goes, I don't want to be caged. I'm not a caged animal. I'm not here to be caged. No animal should be caged up, right? We're not here to be caged. We're here to be free. So the primal instinct is to live more primal, more free. And so there is the kind of pushback that is releasing. It's releasing this. It kind of looks like this flow. I don't know, but it's got like this. It's like it's releasing this kind of energy out there that fills up the collective, that becomes that of a standing up or standing into a bigger truth or seeing a bigger truth. So there is pushback, and there is this change that just says, I don't see this as being the way that is going to work. And it's not going to be able to pass. So there's a lot of underhandedness that is happening. Now I'm in Canada, I'm not in the US. So in Canada, and the energy and what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing there to be some sort of like secret plans that are being created and being made that are not aligning to the highest good of people, that are of the people, but there is a motive. And this is going to try to be passed off as something that is good for us. And so there's a lot of predictive energy in this week's energy. And it's just like whenever this is rolled out, this is more destructive than it is helpful. And it is going to be met with an aha or a realization of where this is coming from. So this could feel as if this is, I feel like I wouldn't be surprised to see, a very quick shift, change in leadership or the calling of an election. It's beautiful to be in the middle road. This is what my husband tells me. He could be watching like something because he loves news and he watches things, but he could be home and he's not home often because he works on the road. But when he is home, he could be watching something and he's like so involved in it. And it's like something that could be like big in the world or whatever it is. And he says, and here I am over there watching horses being born and cow feet being cleaned and baby goats and bulldogs and kittens. And he says, and then out of the blue, he said, he's all stressed. And I just go, oh my God, look at this little baby kitten. Isn't she cute? Oh my God, look at this. And so I exist in that world, and I'm very real of there is all kinds of things outside of us, but what's in our control? What can I change? What can I control? And what's worth losing my sense of peace over, right? It's like what's worth fighting for and what's worth standing up for, but you can't, it's like when you are channeling and when you are someone who is a mystic, there is such power in being able to stay in the middle and to recognize that there is so many truths out there, and there's so many versions of truths. And by working with people and working with families, is that I honor the truths that people feel in their hearts, because everyone's truth is their truth. And that is everywhere. Everyone's truth is their truth. It's what they believe to be true until there is something that makes it no longer their truth. It's something that changes. And so be an open heart and open mind gives you the opportunity for perspectives. But the world is going on. The world is going around in these cycles and these patterns, and they're just changing faces. People will change over the years. Leaders will be different. Like all those things are just happening. But in the future, and in the future that resides, I want to say past 2028 and 2029, the way that the accountability in leadership is going to be heavy-handed from the people. And it's where the control, it's where it's given back to the people and less power to the establishment. Let's just say that it's coming back, and we're coming back around to where it's not going to be so heavy-handed that there is no power, that people don't have the power. People get the power. People are in charge, and more accountability and visibility, or not visibility, more translucency in how they get to lead and the choices and decisions. And it will not be so easy to hide things. And so there is a massive shift and change that through all that we're experiencing in this next few years, it brings a change. And I feel like this is more worldwide and more focused on, say, one place to the other. It just feels like it's where, so you do feel more of the power of the people. So you feel the power of the people, the rise of the people coming back. And I don't know how that all unfolds, but this is the messages they're giving me today on the other side of this moon. And now there is, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick election here in Canada, a shift. Now, the other thing that I've had this energy dancing up and down about and I know that, I know this can happen anywhere at any time, because we do have evil does exist, energetically in people's minds, and a belief system, or a belief in inferior, or a belief in war and destruction. But what I'm seeing is I am seeing some sort of terrorist attack, or something of an attack coming in. Now, where? I don't fully know. I do feel and see that it looks very much like it could be city focus. I'm seeing a lot of brick. So I'm seeing brick. I'm seeing tall buildings. So this could be somewhere where there's tall buildings. And whatever that means, like however that unfolds, whatever that identity of that terrorist conversation is. And so it's there, and I've been writing it like all morning. There's an attack, and I just keep hearing there's an attack, there's an attack, there's an attack. And it's as if the spirits of the past are jumping up and down and showing us something or wanting us to see something that is taking place. And so this is coming from maybe possibly like old soldier energy, old soldier energy, maybe somewhere out there that I'm getting this coming from. But there is an alignment that is bringing in that energy somehow. And to me, it looks like I see it like a lightning bolt. So it's kind of staggered. So I don't feel like it could be several small attacks that just escalates something big. And so there is that image that I'm getting, and we pray to God that these don't come to life, or that they're foiled before they ever get to come to life. And that is in our energy today. I don't know why, but it's in our energy today. So these are big things. So we do have a powerful punch in this energy that is on the macro. So bringing it into ourselves on the micro is to be very aware of conflict, of getting into arguments, getting into fights, kind of causing upheaval, getting involved in drama. Keep yourself out of there. Sometimes the things that you're like, I'm just having my say today. I'm saying this and I'm doing this and it's like, yeah, let's process our thoughts first. So really process your thoughts, find the words, find the language, and you may find this on the outside of you, that this may be coming in on an attack on you, that you may find yourself being under the attack of family members, friends, of relationship, like judgment, criticism. It may be in, blaming you for something, of just saying, you said this or you said that. And it's like, you have to know who you are to know who you're not. And so also to recognize that if you are somebody who tends to be reactive and responsive to that kind of energy, not even intentional, but you are the warrior, you're the fighter of the underdog, or you got to get the last word in. You got to be careful right now to be aware that sometimes I don't need the last word, I need the right word. It's not about the last word, it is about the right word. It is not about any action, it is about right action. And that is going to be so important. Right action versus any action, right? It's like taking a hammer or a sledgehammer and just like banging in walls, like you're going to redesign a house, but you don't have a plan to redesign the house. It's like you're going to start beating out walls, but you don't know where the stabilizers are. You don't know where the beams are that support the house, but you start beating out walls because you want everything to be wide open. I want it to be out in the open. I want things to be known. So being that vigilante, the keyboard warriors, like all of that bullshit stuff is so live in this energy. But on the flip side of this, I got all this softness, and these birds are singing and life is coming up, but there is anger in the collective energy, and right anger. And there's a lot of a right to be angry. There is a lot of things that are being done wrong. There's a lot. And so there's always the one of where we focus, but we have to look at the big, right? We have to go big. We have to see the big picture, that, it's be careful on where you throw all of the support that you throw towards. Be careful of the side that you choose. Be aware that you don't. It's like there's power in being in the middle, and it takes a lot of restraint. It takes a lot of knowing, and it takes a lot of courage to stay in the middle. And it don't make you weak. It don't mean that you don't have a fight. It don't mean you don't have those things. Is that you are consciously aware that there is so much more happening, and we got to be the investigator of what else is happening, what is going on, and where do I really want to be, and I don't, is this disrupting or taking away my inner peace? And and it's our journey back to peace. And how do I get back to that peace? And finding my way back to that peace. And so peace can only come when we stop being at war with ourselves and with others. And that is happening in, like I said, in a collective. It's also happening within ourselves and seeing it within ourselves. And and I noticed there was a short little video made by someone that I like, one of those reels, and it was a judgment, and it was clickbait. It's totally to get people to comment. And I'm just think to myself, it's like, we have enough anger and judgment in the world. And you're somebody who runs a disaster relief or organization that helps to be able to bring in, care and peace and stuff into this world. Is why create a reel or a video that stirs the pot? Why do we need to stir the pot on judgment on people on people and people's choices in what they believe, or what they support, or what they drive? It's the last thing in the world we actually need right now. And so the adulting, the maturity, the growth, the development that is here for us to level up. And so that part of our higher calling, our higher purpose, is to become as enlightened as our higher self is ready to teach us. And that the higher self, the higher expression of ourselves, our soul, our spirit, has the sense of an enlightenment, a sense of wisdom and knowledge that can move and shift us into being able to level up. And as a society and as a world, to be able to level up means that we become the light, and we become what the world needs more of. And when we become more of what the world needs, which is love and light, understanding, kindness, compassion, is that we start to raise the vibration instead of constantly stirring the pot, causing drama, causing all of those things. It's like, we don't need to cause more of that. We need to be this. So whenever I see these plots or this energy coming in, is I call for there to be peaceful resolutions. I call in the angels' guides to block this energy in any way, so that these things don't unfold in a dangerous or unhealthy way, so that things can be stopped, so that we can see it. And some things we can't stop, right? No, we can't stop a lot of things, but there's just this energy today. And so there's a mix, there's a harsh energy and there's a softness. It is the yin and the yang. It's this and that. And the world always has, everything is all happening all at once. And so because what is being exposed to us, and it's impacting and affecting the collective consciousness, is we are seeing all the things that are wrong, but there is things that are going right. There's things that are, there's support, there's volunteers, there's helpers, there's peacekeepers, there is peacemakers, there's things that are being worked out. And sometimes the biggest solution is what is the divine is working out on our behalf. And so there is a divine solution that is being worked out, that we cannot see, that we do not know, that has not fully resided within our consciousness yet, but it is coming. And I just see it coming, like something is coming, something is on its way, that just says, knowing what to say, knowing who to be, and how to show up in experiences is a big part of our growth, our intelligent growth as a spirit, as a human, and as a human being on this earth. And so what I keep seeing today is on the other aspect of this is I'm seeing like something being pulled apart, like a magnetic pull go this way and that way. And things are being pulled, ripped open, pulled apart. An exposure, something is being exposed, something is being revealed, and there is some new truths that are coming. But I'm also seeing the mess, right? And it's messy. Things are messy. There's a lot of messiness out there, but everything there is so organized and so prepared and so ready, right? It's always so ready. And so there is something that is being prepared or something that is ready that's coming in that kind of brings about a change. And so for yourself, what that energy is telling me is that if you have been pulled in all directions and not being able to make up your mind about something or being indecisive, and that there is a solution or there is an answer that is coming. If you have been waiting for, say, a surgery date, if you've been waiting for a resolution to something, it is on its way in. I feel like around the 21st, 22nd of January, you will kind of start to see the responses or the answers that you may have been waiting for. And so this is kind of like there's the light is shining in, everything is cracked wide open now, and there is light. It is not, the world is not dark, the world has light. And so we have this light force energy that is coming in, and we are going to see the light shining in the dark. And so we're going to see a lot of shifts that are happening in the collective consciousness, in mindsets, in shifting of belief patterns. A lot of people seeking and searching for some sort of connection and some sort of togetherness. And it also brings in this of where there's not such a gap or space between the, I guess, the ideology or the belief that one person is better than another. We may be, so fairness is something that was speaking about with the moon energy and the 111, and it's about, equal doesn't create balance, right? If everyone is equal, everyone does the same, but the fairness, but we are all equal as a human being. But as on a world scale is that we have to create balance and harmony. So it is about fairness. Is this fair? Is this fair? Does this align to me? Does this work for me? But seeing the shift. So there's something that is coming that's bringing us more into balance in certain areas. I do see coming up right now in the energy as it's coming in. And I just keep hearing a takedown, a takedown, a takedown, a takedown, a takedown. So something is being either taken down or being removed. And it kind of brings people, it's like a bit of it brings people back down to earth. And so there is this kind of back to earth kind of energy that is bringing in the connection. So I don't know if that is somehow around social media, somewhere around that connection. But you will see a rise this year and through this energy right now. If you are someone who's in the trades or thinking about going into the trades, go back to school, start your apprenticeship, get into the trades, because it is trades that are going to be needed. We have been saying this for like a year and a half now. You will need trades. Trades are needed. Trades are the place to be. And trades are the area of where there is the kind of a sense of satisfaction, because a part of the trades that comes into this North Node in this North Node in Pisces is creativity. And creativity is the part that is awakening within people as we come into this North Node in Pisces. And this North Node in Pisces, this creativity is not everybody becoming an artist or, a social media influencer. It's about being a creative piece of the rebuild and the restructuring of life, or about careers and things that have been fading out. And it's like, we need this more than ever. And so there is some sort of return or some comeback. And if you're feeling the call that I want to feel like I can be of service, is that being of service is often in the trades, because the service work, the service industry, that part are the people that make the world go round. And so they do get to be like the angels on earth. They are the ones who make the change in this world. And so to be of service is something to be very proud of, and to be of service and to do the service work is not to be looked down on. It is something to be looked up to be inspired by, because it ignites intuition, creativity. It moves you into feeling accomplished, feeling alive, and feeling like you're doing something that's really of service on a bigger scale. And that's a huge shift that is happening as we are moving through this energy. So macro, micro. So where can you be of service today? Where can you be of service? Anywhere in your life. Yesterday, it was icy here in Lacombe. Yesterday, day before, I had to run to the bank. I seen this elder getting out of her car, and she was walking with her cane. She only had runners on, and it was very slippery. And I was walking past her for a moment, and I'm looking at her, and my first thought was, I don't want to bother her. Like, really? And it was such a quick response that I walked over and said, "Can I help you? Would you like some assistance to get into the bank?" And she's like, "I would love that." So I helped her up to the steps, and then I opened the door, and she went into the bank, and that was and just a thank you. And that was the end of our interaction. But we can be of service in many areas, in many ways. And you don't have to do the big things. Is who and what we are when nobody is looking that matters the most, is how we are of service as human beings to each other and to this earth, and how we are on this earth. And, you can be an activist out fighting and calling down the world and about saving the world, but that doesn't make you a good person. It don't make you a kind person. There is so many ways that we can be kind, we can be good, we can free ourselves of all of that which fills us with more resentment and more anger, and allow ourselves to be filled with more love and joy, and just do the little things, because it's the little things, the little acts of kindness, those little things that we do to support each other, that actually will be the things that change this world. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful day. And I have a 6-month mentorship program coming up. If you want to study under me, if you want to spend 6 months mentoring with me through the 6-month mediumship course that I have offered, program that I have offered that's coming up. It begins in February. And the beauty and the key of this was getting back to basics and learning that sense of communicating with, allowing your light to connect and communicate, making that deeper connection, and understanding that mediumship is truly about the relationship that we build with spirit, and that spirit begins with our own spirit. That learning to listen, learning to connect, getting back to the big why of what it was originally, what our connection to, and why we haven't lost our connection to spirit is truly all about, because it goes a long way back. We have lost our connection because we have gotten caught up in the fears and the doubts, and being guided further and further away from trust, from love, and from our own spirit, so that we can be kind of controlled in some ways, led to believe and not led to trust. And there is a big difference. I send you so much love. And if you'd like to know more about that, go to mteacademy.ca, and maybe you would love to join me on that 6-month journey. Much love. Bye-bye.